Hello guys, welcome back to Hamstein TV. In today's video, we are going to be discussing on what's English-speaking countries in Africa. Research has it that more than 1.5 billion people speak English. However, some speak good English, some doesn't speak very well, and not everyone has learned it the same way. About 375 million people speak it as an official language. About 369 million people speak it as a first language, and over 898 million people speak it as a foreign language. For this reason, there are over 1 billion English learners across the globe. Among all, we have best English-speaking countries in the African continent as well as worst English-speaking countries in Africa. We have pointed out in our previous video by ranking those African countries with the best English speakers. Our discussion in this video is centered on the African countries lagging somewhat behind in this contest. As we move on, we check on the chronology at which we have the ranking being done. 1. Sao Tome and Principe. The Sao Tome and Principe islands were occupied by the Portuguese from 1470 to 1975. The years of Portuguese colonization firmly established the Portuguese language in the territory. Today, the nation ranks third regarding numbers of Portuguese users behind Portugal and Brazil. Sao Tome and Principe is among the West English-speaking countries in Africa, as Portuguese is the official and the national language. It is spoken by virtually all of the population. 2. Angola. Angola shares a land border with the southern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, where Swahili is the main language, and people who have crossed the border into Angola, many of whom have since been expelled, may be Swahili speakers. Along with those living in South Africa, English is not widely spoken in Angola. 3. Mozambique. Mozambique is a weak English-speaking country in Africa. Portuguese is the official language, although this is generally only spoken by the more educated amongst Mozambique's population. Besides this, more than 60 different dialects of Bantu languages can be found in Mozambique. English is generally spoken in business environment. 4. Algeria. Algeria is ranked among the most worst English-speaking countries in Africa. According to the Algerian envoy to India, only 5% of the population can speak good English. That led to the government to invite Indians to teach the language in Algerian universities in 2012. 5. Egypt. The most widely spoken language in everyday life in Egypt is actually Egyptian Arabic, with around two-thirds of the population fluent. Although Egypt speaks weak English, but nowadays English is the foreign language most likely to be spoken in Egypt. 6. Morocco. According to a 2012 study by the government of Spain, 98% of Moroccans spoke Moroccan Arabic, 63 spoke French, 26 Tamazight, 14% spoke English, and 20% spoke Spanish. The people who speak English in Morocco are very few. 7. Tunisia. English may soon become Tunisia's third official language. Many of Tunisia's official documents are now being translated into English as well as French. There is a small minority, 1% in Tunisia, that speaks Shehal, a Berber language. French, English, and Italian are the main foreign languages spoken in Tunisia. The proximity of the country to Europe has popularized European languages in the country. A significant population in Tunisia also speaks Turkish. 8. Republic of Benin. Benin, formerly known as Dahomey, is one of Africa's most stable democracies. While the country has experienced economic growth over the past few years and is one of Africa's largest cotton producers, it ranks among the world's poorest countries. Republic of Benin is ranked among the worst English-speaking countries in Africa. Located in the West Africa, is one of Africa's most stable democracies. French language is the official language of this country of 11 million people. The people of Benin speak Fon, J, Bariba, Yoruba, and Dendi as well. 9. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is one of the lovely and safest countries in West Africa with a population of 18.6 million. It is one of the poorest English speakers in Africa. It is located in the west and is landlocked. French is the official language, although other indigenous languages are also 10. Burundi. Burundi is another one of the poorest English speaker countries in Africa and has a population of about 10 million. It is located in the east and official language are French and Kirundi. 11. Cameroon. Cameroon English is a minor English dialect spoken predominantly in Cameroon, mostly learned as a second language. It shares some similarities with English varieties in neighboring West Africa, as Cameroon lies at the west of Central Africa. It is primarily spoken in the northwest and southwest region of Cameroon. Cameroon has one of the highest literacy rate and it ranks among the worst English-speaking countries in Africa continent and is known as African in miniature due to its diversity with over 200 linguistic groups. The official languages are French and English. They also speak the languages of Bantu, Semi-Bantu, and Sudanic groups. 12. Comoros. Comoros is a country located off the eastern coast of Africa, east of Madagascar. It is made up of the islands of Grande Comore, Moheli, Ajuan, and Moyete, as well as many smaller islands. The population is 813,000 and the official language are French, Arabic, and Comorian. 13. Democratic Republic of Congo. With the population of 81.5 million, this huge Central African country has been plagued by civil war and corruption in the recent past. Democratic Republic of Congo 2003 constitution states that while French is the country's sole official language, Kituba, Swahili, Lingala, and Shiluba are all national languages. For this reason, it is ranked among non-speaking English countries in the continent. The official language of Democratic Republic of Congo is French, while Lingala, Kiswahili, Kikongo, and Shiluba are also spoken. 14. Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast, French Côte d'Ivoire, is a multilingual country with an estimated 78 languages currently spoken and ranks among the worst English-speaking countries in Africa. The official language is French. It was introduced during the colonial period. This language is taught in schools and serves as a lingua franca. The Ivory Coast is the world's largest exporter of cocoa beans. French is the official language in this country of 23.7 million people. 15. Gabon. Though for international reason, the French language is the official language of Gabon and the French language is not the most spoken in the world, English is still the language of business some Gabonese officials use as means of interaction, but the majority of the country doesn't speak good English language. Gabon is one of the most stable countries in West Africa. Gabon has a population of 1.5 million people whose official language is French. Other Bantu group languages are also spoken here. That is it about countries who speak the worst English language in Africa. What have you to share with us as we move on to the next stage of this video? We expect to hear from you as you have already known the lapses and those countries lagging as English language is concerned. Share with us and share to others when you finally discover during your research. Till next video, stay blessed. Love you all.